Julian Sayin makes his debut as a starter for the Buckeyes.
I think what's lost in the lead-up is that Julian Sayin was also a #1 quarterback in his recruiting class the year after Arch Manning, and he waited last year behind Will Howard, and now Julian Sayin has the keys to the car here for the Buckeyes in the offseason. And then on the outside, this is as talented a group of skill position players as you'll find, and Jeremiah Smith is a guy that has to touch the ball early and often. He only had 1 catch for 3 yards in their last matchup against Texas in the semifinal a year ago. That has to change. If they double cover him, they'll watch out for Carnell Tate.
All aboard! It's time to get on the hype train. We've got the biggest Week 1 college football game of all time, featuring the 2 best players in college football, and they're both Buckeyes. But the Heisman favorite is a Longhorn, and this is his first season as the starting quarterback, Arch Manning. Play fake, Sayin. He'll throw it underneath. Caught.
Teams going for it on 4th down here in the first quarter and coming up short, but Ohio State had an opportunity. This was the 4th down call, a play-action pass. Watch Jeremiah Smith. He's open. That ball needs to go from Julian Sayin to Jeremiah Smith. You can see the frustration. And Ryan Day on the sideline telling his young quarterback, hey, man, when we dial it up to #4, that ball has got to go in his direction.
Jeremiah Smith back on the field. You get the feeling they're going to throw it to him this time. Back to the shoot after this. Julian Sayin missed Jeremiah Smith that last time out. Got a feeling they're really going to go to him now. Second offensive possession for the Buckeyes. Sayin out wide. Smith breaks a tackle. Makes a few people miss. And he'll get up the field for a gain of 6.
Now, big 3rd down on the Ohio State side. And just like you were mentioning before the series, they weren't going to go 2 series without letting 4 touch the football. Design screen on the outside.
4 touchdowns at Purdue last year. Sayin, quick strike, and Smith takes his eyes off of it for a second. Drops the football. In the game at running back. Sayin under pressure. Got it away, and another drop by the Buckeyes. Now Jeremiah Smith lines up as a return man. Bo Meester sends it away. Smith with the fair catch at the 20. A 53-yard punt. Tonight on... And it's a gain of 3. Let's go downstairs to the AAG.
Well, Gus, how about this? First thing, Jeremiah Smith, when he came off the field, he changed out his gloves. Those were not working. Keep in mind, Jeremiah Smith told me at practice earlier this week, this game against Texas has been one he's been thinking about. The way they took him out of the game last year, he said, I've been watching a lot of film. I feel confident, and trust me, it's been circled on my calendar for a long time.
All right, Jenny, thank you. 2nd and 7. Sayin over the middle. Nice completion. Jeremiah Smith breaks a tackle, and he'll pick up 16.
Smith is just inside of him. When that motion man goes outside, what it does is it changes the coverage, and now a linebacker or safety has to cover Smith. So when they motion from inside the formation, outside of Jeremiah Smith, it becomes tougher to defend him, and they can target him. And then those gloves, Gus, they seem to be working just fine, the new ones that Jenny told us about.
Whatever makes him feel better. How about that? Sets up deep, slings it. Incomplete. Jeremiah Smith the target.
I think that was 29, Grayson Littleton. How about this guy? He's just a true freshman. He's running across the field with #4. Ohio State trying to say he got there a little bit early. Maybe, I don't know. That's a tough one to call right there. But this Littleton, I tell you, he's going to be a really good player.
Sayin scrambles. And he will just dump it out of play. A flag, though, thrown. Jeremiah Smith looking at the official. And this will go against Texas.
Holding on the defense, #4.
David Smith, SEC official. There's the hold right there as Smith was trying to break out as Sayin left the pocket. A bit of a hold right there from Malik Muhammad. It was on 5. They announced 4, Jelani McDonald, but that was Malik Muhammad, #5. And that's the 6th time they've tried to throw it at Jeremiah Smith. They're forcing the ball his way, rightly so, but it's also now the 2nd penalty on this series. They've targeted Smith now 6 times. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards, and the Buckeyes with that 7-0 lead.
To the AT. Julian Sayin with time. Underneath, caught, not enough for first down. Jeremiah Smith with the reception, a gain of 5.
I want to talk about the other superstar in this game. It's Jeremiah Smith. Got off to a slow start, a bit frustrating. Had a couple of drops. This one on a 4th down, a play action shot. They've got him. One-on-one, you have to take the shot. And ball ended up going to Max Clary. He dropped him the sideline, but you can sense his frustration. He knows he's not going to get many one-on-one opportunities. And then here, easy catch-and-run football for a potentially big gain. And then on a screen, almost hearing footsteps and trying to run before he catches the football. But they ended up getting him back into the game. He's their leading receiver for Ohio State right now. They're doing a good job of moving him around. Credit Brian Hartline for getting him back, your best player, back into the game and getting him going.
I asked Coach Day going into the locker room was how he's feeling about his quarterback, Julian Sayin, the rhythm he was able to find in the first half. He actually said, I really liked his composure, especially considering we did have a couple of those drops early. Well, speaking of those drops, a few from Jeremiah Smith, something we're not used to. I asked Day, are you planning to talk to Jeremiah Smith? Any words? He said simply, no, he is good. Now, as for the defense, a great start for the Buckeyes. He said we need to continue to stop the run. He also anticipates seeing a bit more from the run game with Arch Manning. It's something they will be ready for.
For Julian Sayin, who managed the game extremely well in the first half. No costly mistakes. Underneath, throws a strike, and it's caught by Jeremiah Smith.
That's a good way to start getting him the ball. And remember, this Texas team held Jeremiah Smith to 1 catch for 3 yards in that semifinal matchup a year ago. And talking with Ryan Day the entire offseason, he was like, that won't happen again. And you can see the concerted effort they've gone to get number 4 the ball and his touches. That's now 7 targets. He's got a couple of drops, yes, but he's got completions, and they also got that holding call on 2nd down against Smith.
But just think about some of the things Jeremiah Smith, Joel, did as a freshman. He was the Big Ten's Receiver of the Year and Freshman of the Year. He broke the Buckeyes' freshman records for catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards in a single game. And he's a baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 true freshmen. I said this last year. There's only 2 true freshmen that I've ever felt could play at whatever level of football possible when they were 18 years old. And that was Adrian Peterson and Jeremiah Smith. And
yes,
he proved that with a monster year production-wise a year ago.
Sayin, looking, sideline, incomplete, broken up. Nice defense this time by Texas. Malik Muhammad steps in, redirects the football, and the Buckeyes will have to punt.
Yeah, good coverage by Malik Muhammad right here, and he's going to be physical. Remember, he got the holding call earlier in that first half, and right there they get a little away with a little bit of contact, and Smith's trying to get back to the ball, and you can hear the fans react to that, but no flag down when Smith was wide open, but that was double covered like they have been doing most snaps. This is the coverage during the course of the game. You see 2 and 3 guys looking up Smith, running with him, eyes on him as they drop into coverage. They're trying to focus on where's number 4. You see the eyes go to number 4. So how do you beat it? You motion outside, get those guys spread out, and then just run a little dump route over the middle of the field. That's how they've been trying to get Smith the ball in more creative ways because of the coverage.
It's a gain of 3.
And as that defense continues to play well, now what you start thinking about is trying to get them a little bit of a rest. You know, before that pick, the last series that defense was out there was 15 plays. And where do you go on 3rd down? Well, it's been a big Smith target game, and obviously you would anticipate that. The other guys have not really played a factor. I would expect Carnell Tate in the second half to have a big catch, Gus, sometime. Maybe Max Clare, but one of those guys, because of the double coverage on Smith, they're going to have to win their one-on-one matchup.
3rd down and 4th at 38. Sayin. First down, yes, for Ohio State. It's Jeremiah Smith. Ran a great route, caught it in stride, and he'll gain 7 on 3rd and 4.
He's so physical at the top of his route. Watch, he's going to be working against Malik Muhammad right here, and it's a slow release. Creates space for himself. How easy is that for Julian Sayin? Big, wide open passing window, and you're throwing to the best wide receiver in the sport. That is just a pitch and a catch for a first down.
Smith, 5 catches, 40 yards. First down at the 45. 12. Sayin. Jeremiah Smith probably would have liked to stay in bounds on that play. Gain of 3. Clock continuing to run for 50 and counting.